Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/your 20-minute podcast. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now, here's your host, David Brower.
Here's part 2 of our interview with Hilary Jastrum. You can learn more about sickbiz.com next.
And I said, okay, all right, I need to exercise. So I bought a little exercise bike, and it's a recumbent one. It sits in the living room. We put it in the living room, so I'll actually use it instead of putting it right.
Instead of hanging clothes on it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You have to put it where you're going to be. And sorry, but your interior design be damned. It's
right.
Just,
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then I am working on getting good at that. How long can I do it for? Not very long, but I can do it every day, probably.
Yeah.
So we focus on one thing. And when people get stuck, they still need to focus on the one thing. Let's say in terms of sales, I've talked to people who said, well, I can't close anything and I can't do anything. Well, what can you always close? Who is always coming to you and saying, hey, can you do this? And everybody has those examples. You might say, well, I hate doing those things. I don't want to do those things. Well, you know what? They're coming to you.
Tough.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So those are the little wins that then lead to the big wins, because we build up our confidence and we begin to impress ourselves with our own strength.
And self-esteem is so important, and to find the one step at a time, like you say, to help build that confidence and self-esteem, it's got to be gratifying and hopefully motivational.
Incredibly. It's incredibly motivational. Rarely, if ever, do you want to go backwards from that.
Yeah. You must have a strong family, a very loving, supporting family.
No.
Right?
The lie detector determined that was a lie. No,
Come on, I kept a straight face. Give me a break.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I know why your husband works outdoors. I get it. All right.
Yeah. I have an incredible husband and incredible children, and despite the fact that I may have a large circle of acquaintances, my intimate circle of friends is small.
Yeah.
And I'm not close to my family at all. And it was a situation of, and I don't have any hardship over this, because you really can't carry that throughout life.
No way.
And expect to attract blessings and abundance and growth and opportunity if you're harboring such resentment and mistreatment and blah, blah, blah. So and after a while, you kind of get sick of yourself, too.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I am so tired of me. I am full of drama. I don't want to do that. So, no, I am not close to my family, but I wish them well. And we were in a situation of utter survival. And we could not coordinate as a family, and we didn't have the tools as a family to do it together.
Gotcha.
And so God bless him, but...
So you end up with, in not a bad way by any stretch of the imagination, you end up with your immediate family, who's there with you day in, day out, which is the most important anything I would think, and then a very small circle of friends who love you, want to nurture you, respect you, honor your boundaries, and those are a small group of friends.
Yes. Yes, they absolutely are. And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's despite my exuberance and big mouth, I'm actually kind of a private person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love helping people, and I'm not afraid to share my pain and vulnerabilities. But my day-to-day and what's going on and blah, 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 I'm actually pretty private about those things.
I get that, because I'm an introvert, big time, always have been, even though I was in radio for a long time and I do voiceover work as a living and I love doing these podcasts. But at the end of the day, my wife will say, oh, he's going to that place. And so fortunately she gets it. But to have that small group, I mean, we have a Bible study group that we meet with once a week, and that's my group. My kids are my group. That's a totally different group, though. And my wife is, put a fork in me, I'm done. She's just amazing. And so, yeah, I get that. And like you said earlier, no matter what your issue is, I mean, mine was depression, mine was cancer, mine was 100 different things. But each time, everything ended up being an opportunity, either to help myself, help somebody else, bring somebody into the fold, if you will, to allow them to go, oh, so if I do that, that's not going to be as bad.
Absolutely, because you're still going to have the pain, but you can pick your degree of pain.
Yeah,
you can.
Wow.
We still have that level of control.
So how do you motivate yourself?
I think it is an ongoing kind of a domino effect every day. It literally started with, you have to do this. You have to survive. You have to bring money in the door. You have to be okay. And I looked at the alternative. What's the alternative? You want to live in a box on the street? Not really.
Right.
Do you want to feel terrible about yourself, or do you want to be open to what you're supposed to be learning and how you can help other people? Because I think you can help other people. I think there are other people that are going through this, and since then, I know that in 2015, the CDC estimated half of Americans have a chronic illness.
Yeah.
Half.
That's
crazy.
Terrifying. It is crazy. And how many of that half, if you will, just thinks that, well, that's what I got. That's the cards I was dealt, and I'm just going to mumble and rumble and go through life the way it is,
Yeah, and they don't have any options, or they don't believe they do. So we just established...
They don't believe they do,
yeah. We just established a board of directors. And I just have to say, I think the reason is because when we're sick, or we have a chronic illness, or we have a disability, we come from scarcity. We come from saying, I can't do this anymore,
right,
or I can't do what they do, instead of saying, let's look at the possibilities.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the stigma that we are trying to shatter. So one of our board of directors, she's incredible. Her name is Galina, and she runs a virtual VA group, and I think there's like 7,000 members. So if you ever need a VA, she's insane. But she also is chronically ill, and she's insanely talented as far as writing and marketing. She's just a marvel. So she's our secretary, and she has a job board. And what she was finding is that a lot of people who were choosing to work from home were doing so because they had some sort of health challenge. And so there's a huge overlap between our groups, and she's now providing a job board for us. These are bona fide, I don't know if we want to call them employers, but I guess we will.
Sure.
And different job opportunities that actually will allow you to earn a living wage. And that's exactly the type of resource that we wanted to provide. So we started brainstorming. Our group, our Facebook group now has, I think we're up to 700 members almost.
Nice.
Yep, and that has come very quickly, mostly organically. And everybody who finds out is like, oh my gosh, my group. I finally have somebody who understands. So there's a tremendous amount of support. But we were brainstorming on everything everybody could do from home. And you start from your own experience. You say, okay, marketing and copywriting, I'd be a blogger and blah, blah, blah. Then somebody else chimes in and says, I do eBay, or I do an Etsy shop. And these are things you don't even think about. And somebody else says, I was thinking about doing that. And so we came up with 167 jobs.
Oh, my gosh. Just from brainstorming sessions. I love that.
Yeah. It's not even finished. It's just not even finished. So these are the resources that we're developing. We just had an app donated to us which was amazing.
Nice.
App on your phone. We have a podcast, and I'm very proud of our website. It's got 20 guest bloggers that are either health or life or business coaches, or they're chronically ill or disabled entrepreneurs who are writing about their realities and how they have implemented business and life hacks, time management skills, whatever they possibly can to help other people. And it just continues growing. We have partnered with a mental health resource in Canada so that we can make sure that a huge component of working from home and feeling isolated while you're sick or while you are disabled is that you really need that. You need that resource. You need to be able to say, I'm not doing okay, and so here's an available resource for you. So we wanted to make sure we addressed that.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting. We have a money manager coach who is offering 15-minute free consultation calls to talk about your business, and more. That's coming. More partnerships. I'm going to be doing a webinar.
And it just grows and grows and grows.
And it's not my nonprofit, David. It's not mine. And this is what I tell people. If you want to contribute, you don't have to run it by me. Share
Jump in and share.
Yeah, absolutely. And so people get excited because they also get a chance to have ownership in it. And it is nobody saying, this is what you community need. It is everybody saying, but hey, I need this.
Yeah.
And what about this? And wouldn't this be great? It's phenomenal.
And has somebody run into this that can help me?
That's exactly right. We have referrals all the time. All the time. Yes. And
so how do people, I mean, it's got to be word of mouth referral through the roof on steroids, I would think. Because how else do you market this other than groveling, right?
I've changed my methodology for marketing since then. Because I run a for-profit digital marketing agency.
There you go. Nice.
It's bustling. We'll call it bustling.
Bustling. You're hustling. It's bustling.
Exactly. You just made a meme.
All right. I like it. So while you're operating Sick Biz, along with everybody else who's taking ownership of that, you're also copywriting, editing, book editing, all kinds of things, working with motivational thinkers and speakers. And do all these do all these opportunities find their way to you?
A lot of them do find their way to me, and the more that we're going, so I'm building up passive income now, which is really cool, and I'm building out my team now as well. But a lot of them are piggybacking, and they really, a huge majority, especially for the book editing, has stemmed off of Ryan Stewman. So, I edited all 6 of his books, and I am his on-call editor.
Nice.
So we've worked together, nearly 2 years. He knows I'm chronically ill. I've had him on the podcast. It's very hard, and especially when you're hungry for mentoring. You're hungry for guidance, and you just kind of see. And so when you're around people with that particular mindset,
absolutely,
it's contagious. I don't have anybody on my feed that is oh, poor me, and I can't this, and this drama that, and whatever else, and I'm throwing this person under the bus. My news feed is like a straight-on feed from the world's best motivational coaches.
Nice.
It is wins, collaborations, celebrations, events, innovations, everything. It's everybody cheering, everybody on all the time, not allowing anything negative. And when you infuse your life with that spills over.
Absolutely it does. And it's as simple, not that this is simple, but it's as simple as we are who we surround ourselves with.
It's very simple like that.
Right.
And I think we complicate things.
We do. Yeah.
And a lot of times people may say, well, I don't know how to extricate myself from this situation or this toxicity. You know what? Use the 2017 buzzword ghost, man. That's all you got to do. Just drift away.
Yep.
You don't have to say a word. Your choice is to do nothing and to simply disengage. If you don't want to do anything, you have every right to defend your environment and to defend good treatment of yourself.
And most of the time, disengage is really the way to go, right? Otherwise, you're hanging on to stuff that is continuously bringing you down that you have no control over. So why not just disengage and focus more and more on yourself and the people around you?
Absolutely. And you have to take responsibility for what you're allowing. That sounds kind of harsh, but truly.
Yeah.
Don't think of yourself as a victim. Oh, I have no control, or, I'm weak, or no, you're not. You absolutely can hit the unfriend button. You can do it right now.
Absolutely.
And every person listening to this has somebody that they're going, you know what, I've been thinking about that for a while. What is at stake if you hang on?
Yeah. Wow. And it sounds so easy, but it's not. But you have to show up and you have to commit. And then once you feel some success, you go, oh, now I get it. Right?
It's, well, yes, and it's not that it won't be painful, but
For
it is
sure.
less,
Yeah.
It's less painful to endure distance than it is to be caught in the midst of chronic dysfunction and pain.
Well said. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
People want to check out SickBiz. Go to sickbiz.com, right?
Yes, exactly.
And is that the place? Is that the place where people need to go to learn more about all the things that you're talking about and you're involved in?
Yes, we're linked up to everything, and our resources page should be going live very soon. But we also have an app you can get to your phone if you text SickBiz, 2 separate words, to 36260, and you'll get that right on your phone. Our podcast will be on there. You'll be able to access the blogs, and we'll be adding our resources button very soon. The onus is on value. I didn't want this to be some pop-up kind of virtual support group.
Right.
It really needs to provide value that enables chronically ill and disabled entrepreneurs to run profitable businesses. And I do want to say we are establishing a scholarship as well, a quarterly grant that will be awarded to an entrepreneur to help them, and they can apply that to their business.
Now I got the good goosebumps. You know what I mean? This is so cool. So pay it forward has got to be the mantra of you and a lot of people that you work with that start to get it and finally get it and go, oh, okay, now it's my turn to pay it forward. I'll help somebody else, right?
Amen. And you know what? And that's the secret of life right there.
It is.
To pay it forward.
Yep.
We can only do what we can do by ourselves, and so we are limited. We are limited in our own ingrained thought processes. We are limited by our physical and mental capabilities, by the hours in the day. But when we trust and expand, then we can only grow in the initiative together. And it's a delightful surprise,
right,
to see what other people bring to the table. Because you'll say, well, what are we going to do about this? And you'll have your own ideas, and somebody will say, what about this? And you'll go, oh, I never thought of that.
Right.
That's incredible.
Right. All of a sudden, these little epiphanies go on, and you start getting excited. And guess what? You're now more positive. You have better self-esteem. You're helping others. Others are helping you, and it's life-changing what you're doing, kid. Life-changing. It's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the app is SickBiz, 2 words, SickBiz, and you text SickBiz to 236260, correct?
Oh, no, it's 36260.
Oh, 36260. Okay. So text SickBiz to 36260 and go to sickbiz.com, all one word, and learn more about Hilary and everything that's going on there. Read some fabulous blogs, fabulous stories, get engaged, and give yourself permission,
Amen. I love
that. This
that.
has been such a blast. Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it.
All right, you take care.
You too.
Your 20-Minute Podcast with David Brower has been brought to you by Audible. You can listen to any of David's podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found, including iHeartRadio, the Spotify mobile app, and at davidbrowervo.com/your20minute podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.